Hey, real quick before I get into the video, I just want to apologize for how long this video actually took to come out. See, halfway through filming this happened, and for those of you who aren't quite sure what you're looking at, this is one of my set lights. I dropped the bulb, it shattered, and I had to wait for a replacement so I can finish recording the rest of the video. So that is part of the reason why it took so long, but also this is just probably one of my better videos that I have done ever, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss it.
Hey gamers, so the other day I was sitting around browsing Cartoon Networks thinking of all the cartoons I had watched over the years, and one in particular kept popping up in my head. So I had to make a video about it. But first I want to tell you guys why I love cartoons so much. Animation is a beautifully imperfect medium and has been around for ages. Everything and anything can be expression animation, and no two works are identical. Get those out of my sight! Animation can look, feel, and be anything the creator wants, and there's no limit to genre or subject matter. Case in point, adult cartoons. Ever since The Simpsons and the idea that cartoons weren't just for children was unveiled to society, we have been getting a lot of quality adult-focused cartoons. And some of the most iconic cartoons of all time have been adult-focused. The aforementioned Simpsons, as well as Family Guy, South Park, and of course, Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is a definite treasure in the cartoon world. It's one of the funniest, most creative, most engaging shows out there. And it's funny to think of how such a culturally impactful show started, because it was mostly just a joke. In 2006, Justin Roiland created a crude short film for the film festival Channel 101, based on Back to the Future, called The Real Adventures of Doc and Marty. Marty spelled with an I and an H. The film is one big ball joke, with the solution to every problem being Marty licking Doc's balls, and on one occasion, jerking him off as well. Justin Roiland has stated that the original idea for the short film was to get a cease and desist from Universal. He abandoned that idea and tried to change as much as he could to not get in trouble with Universal Studios. Honestly, even though I thought The Real Adventures of Doc and Marty was pretty funny, it's obvious that Rick and Morty is a huge step up in both style, world building, and subject matter. So today, let's look at the first 3 episodes of Rick and Morty. Why just the first 3? Because I want to milk as much content as I can out of this show. And if I cover too much at once, I'll run out of videos. Anyway, let's jump into it. Let's get into it. Let's jump in. Let's dive on it. Let's dive in. Let's go. And we're starting now. Let's do this. Let's get into it. What's the numbers and let's dive on. Let's karate chat, let's power.
Rick and Morty forever and forever, 100 years, Rick and Morty some things. Me and Rick and Morty and running around and Rick and Morty time.
The pilot episode is one of the best pilots to a show I've seen, and it has been permanently seared into my brain because of how many times I watched it in middle school on Kiss Cartoon using an old, dirty Chromebook. Oh, the memories. What could be a better opening to a show than seeing one of our main characters threatening to release a humanity-ending bomb while being drunk off his ass? Bonus points because the countdown starts, but is cut off by the theme song.
Neutrino bomb armed.
Perfection. Obviously, humanity wasn't destroyed in the opening scene, but something else did get destroyed this episode: Morty's butthole. Rick wants to get his hands on
Mega seeds, they're incredibly powerful.
But because of some wacky off-screen hijinks in the future, Rick ran out of juice for his portal gun, so he and Morty need to get back home using the awesome sci-fi technology of commercial flights. But the Mega Seeds can't go through customs, so there's only one solution. Morty needs to shove it way up his butthole.
Put them way up inside there.
The whole episode is pretty much just this. Rick and Morty need to get the Mega Seeds home, but there are obstacles in the way. So there's a few things happening in the B-plot. Rick suddenly kills a kid, and turns out Summer's really into him, so she, gets upset or something. And Jerry wants to put Rick in an elderly home because he and Morty are going on crazy adventures, and Morty is failing school because of it. Obviously, Beth doesn't want to, and that's sort of that's it. That's the B plot. This is one of the simpler episodes, but that's not an insult. Despite being simple, it's still chock full of jokes and amazing animation. The pilot does what a pilot should do: leave you wanting more. Side note, this happens in the episode. So take that however you want. Similar to the pilot, this episode is fairly straightforward, but it is iconic. And not to throw that word around too much, I'll just say that everything in Rick and Morty's first 2 seasons is iconic. It was just too influential in not just the cartoon world, but in all of pop culture. While the actual beats and lines in this episode aren't as ingrained in pop culture as the pilot and other episodes of later seasons are,
I'm Pickle Rick!
this episode still gave us some classic moments, not least of which is my favorite, legally safe knockoff of an 80s horror character, Scary Terry.
I'm Scary Terry. You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
But we'll get to that later. First, I need to tell you the tale of Snuffles. Once upon a time, Jerry was being a shit, not understanding what owning a dog actually is. He forces Rick to build a device that will improve the dog's intelligence. You know, everything that's about to happen because of this device could have been avoided if Jerry just understood that Snuffles peeing on the carpet wasn't an issue of intelligence, but rather poor training on his part. But I digress. You see, because of this intelligence-boosting device, Snuffles begins to act more like a human. Because of that, he figures out he can increase the device's efficiency and become a talking robo-dog.
Where are my testicles, Summer?
I know he's not actually a robot. He might as well be. Snuffles learns about how dogs were once noble, majestic, murderous wolves and becomes bitter towards humanity. In his eyes, dogs have become subservient human slaves and decides the best course of action is to take over the world and treat humans as actual slaves. He makes more intelligence-boosting helmets and mech suits for seemingly every dog in existence and began the whole taking over the world thing. However, turns out that the takeover was just a dream, and Rick infiltrates the dream using this tiny device and inception Snuffles into calling off the takeover by causing Morty's kidneys to fail. You see, Morty wasn't a dream because Rick used the same device to pull Morty into Snuffles' dream as well, and didn't tell Morty the plan for some reason. Anyway, Morty almost dying makes Snuffles realize that dogs can be better than humans, so he and every dog on Earth go to another world and begin a new society. Now, you may be wondering why Morty almost dying makes Snuffles so upset. So, Morty was kind to Snuffles back when he was a regular dog. So when the turns got tabled, Snuffles wanted Morty by his side as his best friend. So that's what's up with that. But there is one other teensy part of the episode I haven't mentioned yet.
I'm Scary Terry.
It's hard to tell in this episode what the A plot and B plot is. Both parts of the episode get equal screen time, but if we're using significance as a measure of plots, then I guess the B plot of this episode would be this part. The part that actually has Rick and Morty's adventure. Rick and Morty don't actually accomplish anything important in this episode. The important part of the episode is everything that happened with Snuffles, kind of leaving Rick and Morty with useless padding for this episode. Or at least I would say that if the padding wasn't buck wild. Remember that device that Rick used to go into Snuffles' dream? Well, first he and Morty used it to incept Morty's math teacher's dream, in order to inception him into giving Morty an A in math. Unfortunately for them, Goldenfold is not to be messed with in his dreams, and things go south really fast, causing Rick and Morty to go an extra level down into the dream of a dream character. It doesn't really make logical sense, but we're talking about Rick and Morty, so obviously there's some genius, billion IQ explanation, and I'm just not smart enough to appreciate its brilliance. You know the rest. Rick and Morty end up going even further down into the Centaur's dream, which is the dream being had by a dream. You guys still with me? Good. Because here it is, folks. The man you've been waiting for. He's got a striped sweater, a stylish hat, balls on his chin, miniature swords for fingers. It's the one, the only, Scary Terry! Anything you want to say, Terry?
You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Isn't he a hoot? There's no words for Scary Terry. Well, actually, there is one. Perfection. To defeat Scary Terry, Rick and Morty hide from him.
You can run, but you can't hide!
And infiltrate his dreams. They give him pants, tell him to chill, and then Scary Terry helps him convince Goldenfold to give Morty an A in math. Yeah, I bet you forgot that's why this whole thing happened. My thoughts on the episode can be expressed like this. Now on to... This one's Anatomy Park. I don't need to say anything else, it's Anatomy Park. We all know Anatomy Park. Theme park built inside a man, things go bad, hepatitis.
Did we have some sort of relationship with him?
The only thing I will say, though, is this blob person thing is voiced by John Oliver, one of the best people to ever exist, and we do not deserve him. Thank you, John Oliver. Keep doing that show with the funnies. It makes me haha.
Johnny Depp. Oh, I'm sorry, that's just a fedora atop a pile of greasy hair. Apparently, actor Johnny Depp. Sorry, that's just a trash bag full of scarves.
Yeah, I kind of blew by that last part, but I needed time for this week's sponsor. Wait, there's no sponsor? Well, then why does it say pause here for ad in the script? Oh no. Oh, not this guy again. Hey there, Dookies. Do you want to be a fictioneer? Yeah, we're not calling them that. You gotta click that subscribe button, man. And for bonus passes to the Fictioneer water park. There's no water park, and we're not calling them fictioneers. Click that like button as well. It's totally tubular, man. Cowabunga! If I somehow haven't made myself clear in this video about how I feel about Rick and Morty, I'll just say it is one of the best shows that I have ever seen. Once again, it is one of the most funny, creative, and engaging shows you can watch. Okay, I'll see you next time, and as I always say...
Oh, jeez, Rick!
There. And it's funny to see how such a culturally impactful show started, because... Sharded? Oh my god. Your swords for fingers. That was all really good until I forgot the rest of it. I'm getting spooked over here, man. It's like 3 a.m. I'm recording with a big blanket over my head. Actually, it's 4 a.m. Jesus. I'm very hot. And I look like an idiot. That's it. That's the tip.